Hi, it's Neil from Beechwood Tree Care. I just want to show you around this fantastic big Cedar of Lebanon that we look after. We have the absolute pleasure of looking after this tree, and recently we've carried out some extensive works on it to make sure it's safe, and I just wanted to talk you through those. So here we have the tree. This is a Cedar of Lebanon. We believe this tree is over 200 years old. There are 3 on this estate, and we're in the estate was built in the grounds of a big old country house. So back in the day, this would have been quite a status symbol. You wouldn't have had a Rolls Royce or a Bentley, you would have had a Cedar of Lebanon. And you could see why it'd be a statement, because nobody else would have had one of these. They were originally found, or they come from the Atlas Mountains in North Africa, hence the Cedar of Lebanon, and they produce these big spreading branches. This is an incredibly impressive tree, and we have the pleasure of looking after it. So first of all, let's go and have a look at the tree, and then we'll talk about the challenges that come with owning a tree like this. So this tree, as I say, is over 200 years old, and we roughly know that because we unfortunately had to cut one down on this site in 2006, and one of the local residents came out with his grandkids and sat there, painstakingly counted the rings, and I think he got up to 184, and that was in 2006. So we figured this tree was probably planted at the same time. This one's actually a bit bigger, so maybe it's older, and hence why we have that age on it. But just look at the size of it. This is over 3 meters in diameter, and a lot of just going around the main stem here, a lot of the branches, they're trees in their own right. They extend out, and you just look up through this tree. It is just incredible. This is a great tree for us to climb. It's a real pleasure for us to work on. Now, the problem comes with a tree like this. We all admire it, we think it's wonderful, but how big it is, if these limbs were to fail, or the whole tree is to fail, they could cause significant harm to the adjacent houses, or to someone walking onto the footpath underneath. And obviously, as a tree owner, you need to make sure that your tree is safe. The other challenge you have with a tree this size is that you'll get internal decay. So here is a fungal bracket. This is a fungus called Phyolus, and you can see the physical damage there as well. So something's going on inside that tree, and we need to determine what and whether it's significant and how to manage it. You know, the simple solution would be just to cut down the tree, but we really don't want to do that. I don't want to lose this historic natural monument. You can see here where a limb has been pruned off previous, and you've got some more fungal brackets and some decaying wood. So, how we solve this problem for our customers is that we do a report on the tree. And a tree of this size and this significance and stature will get someone in that's highly qualified. For this tree, we used a chap called Guy Watson, and we assisted him in doing a climbing inspection. So we climbed around it with him, aided him, took photographs while he made his assessments on what was going on within the structure of that tree. This tree has also got some significant cables in there. We'll have a look at those a little bit later on. But you also saw around the base that decay and those fungal brackets. So we brought in another chap along who worked alongside Guy called James Pinder, and he used a Picus tomograph. Very fancy name for a sound wave measuring machine. So we send sound waves through the tree, and then a computer figures out, based on lots of data over the years, what the internal structure of that tree looks like, and how, if it is compromised, by how much, and then we can make an assessment, or Guy in this case makes an assessment on what needs doing. So this tree I also mentioned had cables in it, and they were supporting some of these big limbs. So this limb that we saw over here on this side that goes up this way, if I can show you that could easily reach that house. That limb's been significantly reduced back. That's probably one of the only pruning wounds that you could see on this tree for the works that we've done. We'll talk about those in a minute. But it's got a big cable in it. So if you look at the top of the tree there, you'll see the strap, and you'll see a cable going through to the centre of the tree. That's got a 10-ton working load on it, and it's what we call a catch system. It's something that we pioneered. It's not invasive. It's got a big cable in there. It gives a little bit of support to that limb, but it also, if that limb was to break and fail, it will catch it and it will swing it back into the tree, taking it away from those properties. There's cables go through the centre and then down to another limb this side where the same principle applies, but there's a little bit more aiding on this limb. So this limb here is very elliptical, comes out over the footpath. Obviously the footpath's a big target area. And that one too has got a cable in it. And that goes up to the centre of the tree, adds support and adds as a catch. So if I walk back out, we can talk about what we did to the tree. So first of all, we did the report, and then from the report was specified the works that needed to be done. However, this tree is subject to a tree preservation order. So the local authority have put a legal order on it. And what that means is that you can't do anything to this tree without their permission. Maybe I've misled you a little bit there. You can't remove any live growth without their permission, or you can't dig up the roots or in any way willfully damage it, I think is how it's talked about. So the report had to be submitted to the council. The council had to approve the works. And because we've done a thorough inspection of the tree and because we were all about preserving it but whilst making it safe, they approved those works. Those works were to replace the cables, which we just talked about, and they were also to prune this tree. Now, believe it or not, it's been reduced by 3 to 4 metres all over, and you can barely see. It's because we're really skilled at this. This has taken a long time of working out how to properly prune trees, and you can have this effect. You can have a tree that's been pruned, radically pruned, and one of our customers had been away. There's a committee that look after the grounds here, and he said, "Oh, when are you going to do the tree?" And we said, "We've done it." And that was a really big compliment. So really, the only bit that you can see's been pruned is that limb, the big limb over there where there's a big cut. But I can guarantee you, all over that tree, 3 to 4 metres of that tree has been reduced in beautifully. And it's a really nice job and something that we're really proud of. And that will protect this tree. It will be reassessed in 5 years' time. We'll keep having a look over it in the meantime, but we can look after your big mature trees. We can make them safe, we can make them retained for future generations. Not something your average tree surgeon can do, but definitely something Beechwood can do for you. And it gives us a great deal of pride to be able to deal with trees of this stature. You know, something that's been there for 200 years. Hopefully we can help keep it there for at least our lifetime, and maybe it'll be there in another 200 years' time. I mean, that'll obviously be another generation to look after, and a generation after that, and a generation after that. But there you go. What a cracking tree.